Guests today on the Anime Insanity Super Sideshow First Edition include Ivysaur, Cherum, and Silcoon. Alright, cue the opening! Live from Tokyo, Japan, here are your hosts, Scrafty and Roselia. Yeah! Thank you, not so person. You're too kind and cute. But there's already cuteness right here, baby. Can't you see that? For the last time, Scrafty, no. Oh. Anyway, welcome to the Anime Saturday Super Sideshow First Edition. This is our awesome after show. Isn't it cute? I came up with all the designs myself. Actually, Zuzu came up with all the designs. He's the producer of the show. Shut up. I'm trying to take credit for something, like, because I'm amazing and stuff. Anyway, welcome to our awesome after show. We're so happy to see you guys. We've missed you so much since we are not in the season. Because, I don't know, our creator decided, I don't want you guys to be in the season because you're like totally annoying. Rosalia, off script. Sorry. Anyhow, let's get started. So as you can see, we have our peanut gallery and our other castmates. So let's welcome our two castmates who will be doing the voting results and the where they went wrong sections. Xerdius and Eveltal. Hi. So nice to see you guys. Oh my gosh, this is the first time we're on camera. No, it's not. We were on Pokemon Legends. Oh, yeah, and you were putting on that stupid squeaky voice. Hey, I had problems that day. My voice wasn't feeling so right. Your voice isn't right every time. Are you mocking me because I'm a deer? Maybe. And as you can see, we have our two peanut gallery losers, Growlithe and Electric. I am not a loser. The great Arceus has told me so. Hi guys, hi. We have our fan talk representative, Shani Milotic. Hi, nice to meet you guys. And we have our epic action scenes representatives, Finnegan, Chespin, and Froakie. Hi everyone! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be on the Super Sideshow! I am your biggest fan! And hi guys. Hi, I'm Chespin. It's nice to meet you guys. Yay! Oh my gosh. Chespin. I was trying to talk shush. Hi everyone. It's so nice to be here. You have no idea. Anyhow. Oh, and as you can see, there are three people up there on the other side. Those are our cameo appearances that our very own Karayo have sent in. So please welcome Lucario, Lithian, and Tarakakid from his show. Hi. Hello guys. You may not recognize Tarakakid, but she was originally Tyrannocape from Pokemon Legends. For whatever reason, it appears she's transformed, which doesn't surprise us. Anyway, let's get started with the show, shall we? Yeah. So, as you can see, we came on after the first 4 episodes, meaning we'll be on every 4 episodes. Cool, right? And we get to interview the 3 people who were eliminated after those 4 episodes. Exactly, and it kind of sucks who was eliminated, let me tell you. So, it all started in episode 2, when none other than Ivysaur was eliminated for giving up the game for a kiss with Cherum. Like he was ever gonna get it. And in episode 3, which I hated, my own girl Cherum got eliminated because of stupid Ninja's egging her on and because of her cockiness getting the better of her. And in episode 4, Silcoon got the boot because she was also tricked by Ninja's and was exposed to a kiss, and she lost her boyfriend all in the same episode. Oh, brutal. I know, Cernius. Okay, let's get started. I want to see Charum, so let's just get to her already.
We have to go in order, girl.
Fine. Okay, so our first guest was eliminated in episode 2. He was coincidentally eliminated in episode 2 last season. Likes to read books, is the most boring character, and has been referenced as the Sasuke of the show by a certain YouTube user. Please welcome the most boring character on earth, Ivysaur!
Hi.
Hi, Ivysaur. Ivysaur, we have to ask this first question. Why the hell do you like reading books so much when you could have been actually playing the game and winning some money? You got out in the same episode you got out last season. Do you not feel any remorse or regret about that?
Actually, I do feel bad about that. This season I really wanted to do something, but I guess I let my love of books and my love for Charum get the better of me.
When did you start crushing on Charum?
Last season, actually. I had a really good crush on her last season. Unfortunately, it didn't last so long.
No kidding. You're only there for like, what, 2 days on the island?
You were only there for a week.
Shut up! I was there longer than you, okay? Enough said.
So, Ivysaur, if you can go back to the game, what would you do what would you do now that was different? Well, for starters, I wouldn't fall in love. I wouldn't let love get the better of me. I would try to be a little more social.
Wow. So it took you 2 eliminations to finally learn that one. Greta, shut up. No one likes your religious butt. Alright, shut up. Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, I would probably not read as many books, even though it would break my heart.
You have a heart?
Oh, yeah.
What? It's his fault for having the most boring voice on this show, okay?
Yeah, I guess that's it.
One last thing. Why did you think Charum was gonna kiss you? You do realize she just used you.
I'm well aware of that. It's just, I really liked her, and to hear her say she was gonna let me kiss her was, I mean, how would you feel if you got a kiss from the guy you always loved?
Let's just say I would be jumping up and down and I would be making out with him right now.
Ooh, who's that? Who's the guy?
Scrafty? First of all, it's not you, so don't get any ideas, and don't put any images in your head. Second of all, it's none of your business. Well, we're glad you learned your lesson, Ivysaur, because honestly, we thought you were going to suck for the rest of the series. Anyway, Xerneas, Yveltal, can you move on? We have to go to the voting results and where he went wrong.
Okay, cool. Hi everyone, I'm Xerneas, and yes, I'm the better of the legendaries, even though my boyfriend's probably gonna kill me for saying that. You bet I will! Anyway, let's get started. So, the bottom 2 during Team Outlaw Star's very first elimination was between none other than Ivysaur and Electabuzz. Votes for Ivysaur were Camerupt, Ninjask, Sylveon, Electabuzz, and Silcoon. And votes for Electabuzz, Ivysaur. Yeah. So, Electabuzz is only down there because of Ivysaur. Though I felt like people should have voted for Electabuzz too, because hello, no one likes him. Alright, let's go to where they went wrong with my awesome friend Yveltal. Gee, thank you. Anyway, so here's where he went wrong. So, we start with, he threw the challenge on purpose. Yeah, it sucks, but he did. He only threw the challenge on purpose because of Charum promising him a kiss. That was his worst mistake. He was naive enough to believe Charum would kiss him. And that's also around the sense of throwing the challenge on purpose. So yeah, it really did suck when he did that. And he would rather read than do challenges. If you haven't noticed, Ivysaur likes to read a lot. I'm sure all of his faithful fans, if he has any, have noticed that too. So yeah, if he would have not read as much as he did during this season, which was basically, what, a day and a half, he probably would have lasted a couple more episodes. Granted, I think he could have made it farther into the game, like maybe merge. I had faith, just a little bit. Alright, back to you guys.
Thank you. Okay, so our next guest is my best friend in the world. She was eliminated because she was being really cocky and she was tricked by Ninjask. She is also one of the best players on Team Fairy Tail.
You're seriously gloating about her?
Shut up, Scrafty. You have no life. Anyway, and she's probably my best friend in the world. And on top of that, she's amazing. Please welcome my BFF and the girl who should have won Season 2, Charam. Hi, Rosea. Hi, Charam. Oh my gosh, it is so nice to see you again. I know. It's been too long. Tell me about it, girl. Oh my god.
When we come back, we will gladly get started with the interview with Charam. But don't worry, we'll be back right after this break.
Welcome back, guys. As you can see, my BFF Charam is our next guest. So, Charam, let's start with the obvious. How do you feel about getting eliminated so early this time around? Are you kidding me, Rosea? I am so pissed. I had long-term plans for this season. I had plans to create an all-girls alliance. Then I had bigger plans to win this entire game. I even had a plan to take down Electabuzz before the merge. But clearly no one's gonna come up with that idea because apparently everyone likes Electabuzz. Why do you say that? Because they haven't gotten rid of him yet. Seriously? If they're wise, they'll get rid of him now before he does anything later. Like, seriously? Do you know how strong he is? Very true.
So, Charam, aside from you being amazingly hot and sexy, I have to ask, why were you so cocky? What made you think what made you think that behavior was appropriate? And why? Just why?
Well, to be honest with you, Scrafty, aside from your very perverted comment, I guess I just got really cocky because I wanted to prove myself this season. And to be honest with you, if I was able to, I would have totally won this season. Last season, I let love get the better of me. Electabuzz clearly kicked my ass last season and voted me out because I was naive enough to think he'd love me, when the reality was he didn't, and he turned me against my own best friend, which, by the way, he will burn and rot in a ditch later for that. And I guess I just really wanted to prove myself this time around, so yeah. Oh, really? Seriously? Was it also because you missed me? Oh, totally, Rosea. I did miss you. Like, seriously. The fact that I didn't mention you on the season 2, I was going to file a lawsuit, but I realized I was broke, so never mind. Right. Plus your dad said you can't get any more money until you finally learn how to drive. I just turned out how to drive. I drove a mobile suit in episode 3.
Those are robot. That's a pilot. You need to learn how to drive.
Shut up, you stupid frog. I don't think anyone asked you to speak.
Yeah, that's why I keep interrupting you. Yeah!
And you too, whatever the heck you are, your weird grass type thing. What are those people? They're the new 6th generation Pokemon. They're part of the after show cast.
Just like us. Hi. Charam, you're looking fabulous today.
Oh, thank you guys. You guys are looking pretty good yourselves. Oh,
she sounds looking good. I look so awesome. Oh, yes, you do, sorry, yes.
Alright, so why don't we get to the voting results and where she went wrong? Even though I kind of have a clue of what exactly she went wrong with. Anyway.
Hi, everyone. Me again. So, in episode 3, it was between Charam and Tropius. And votes for Charam were Swellow, Tropius, Milotic, Staryu, and Rampardos. Votes for Tropius, just Charam. Kinda sad. Okay, so let's get to the where they went wrong. Okay, so, as you know, Charam got eliminated because of her cockiness, but need I go on? Why don't we why don't we get the ball rolling and see what happened here? So we start with. She came into the game with cockiness. Big shocker. She thought she could win this whole game, and she really didn't realize that she was gonna lose this game. She let Ninjask get into her head, and that's the worst part. She let that so-called gentleman get in her head. Gosh, I should totally hit him later. Anyway, yeah. Oh, and one more. Lost the challenge for her team, if that wasn't an obvious one. Okay, back to you, Rosalia and Scrafty.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so our last guest was eliminated in episode 4.
She got eliminated courtesy of Ninjask, tricking her into giving him a kiss.
Not to mention, she also lost the challenge for her team because she was afraid to kiss him the first time.
And she lost a girlfriend in the same episode that she left.
So without further ado, let's welcome our last guest. She trips a lot, she's scared of everything, including a leaf, and she's probably one of the weakest competitors on the show. Next to Ivysaur, let's welcome Silcoon! Oh, hi guys! Ugh. Oh my gosh, Silcoon, you evolved! Oh my gosh, when did this happen? Believe it or not, it happened right after I left the show. I guess it was finally time. I gave myself another 2 weeks because it usually doesn't take that long for a Silcoon to finally become a Beautifly, but it usually takes less time than a Cascoon, but, you know. Wow, you look really cute right now. Oh, thank you.
So Beautifly. Aside from being super sexy right now, because I am so totally turned on. Seriously, is that the only thing you ever think about? Shut up, dude. Anyway, how did you feel when you left the game?
Well, how do you think I felt, first of all? I lost my boyfriend. I got exposed for a kiss that I assumed was mutual between me and Ninjask. And on top of that, I got voted out because I was hesitating during a challenge. How exactly do you think I feel? I feel like crap. Well, you have to admit, girl, you hesitated and you could have actually won the challenge. Because, to be honest, I thought that intimate scene between you and Ninjask was pretty sexy.
Ooh, definitely.
Anyway, what are your thoughts on Ninjask now? Well, I think he's a jerk, and I think he's gonna get his eventually, because if he's gonna trick girls like that, he might as well just leave the game and go out on the streets and do that, because honestly, what he did was stupid. Now we have to talk about the big thing that everyone was talking about that happened in episode 4, and it had to do with you breaking up with Swallow. You guys are like the only power couple, are the only couple in general on the AXC challenge. How did it feel when you broke up with him? Oh, well, it sucked. I loved him, but for him to just break up with me like that was terrible. He didn't even give me a chance to state my opinion or anything. I feel like our relationship was based on an entire lie, you know? And I just feel really bad.
Do you think there's ever a chance you'll get back together?
I doubt it. Me and Swallow love each other, but I'm not entirely sure we're gonna be in a relationship. If all we're going to do is be completely naive based on people saying something, if he's just gonna assume I kissed Ninjask because I love him and rather be with him than Swallow, then clearly a relationship's not gonna work, not gonna last. So what are you gonna do now until then? Well, I'm single now, so I guess I'll stay that way for a while. I experienced my first boyfriend, so that's a good. I know what it feels like to be in a relationship. Now I just have to figure out now I just need to figure out who to trust, how to make sure a relationship revolves around trust. Well, we're glad you learned your lesson, and we're glad... Sorry, my voice. We're glad you figured out everything. Now it is time for the voting results and where they went wrong. Zerdas, Iveltal.
Okay, so during this week it was Silcoon at the time, at the bottom two with Ninjask. Votes for Silcoon, Camerot, Sylveon, and Ninjask. And votes for Ninjask were Electabuzz and Silcoon. Okay, now it's time for where they went wrong. Hi guys! Okay, so where did Silcoon go wrong? That is the question. So, first off, she was running off in the middle of the challenge. That was her big mistake. First of all, her scene was amazing, and she probably would have gotten a really good high score for her team had she not run off. Number 2, sharing a mutual kiss with Ninjask. That was her other mistake. She shouldn't have fallen into his vindictive trap and kissed him, because that's what screwed her over and made her lose her boyfriend, which kinda sucks. And of course, actually I think that's it.
Okay, guys, now it is time for the really awesome scenes that we've made just for you guys.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we've gotten all three of the guests out of the way, it's time for the more popular scenes.
Okay, so let's get to epic knockout scenes with Fennekin, Chespin, and Flucky. Hi everyone, I'm Fennekin.
I'm Fruity, and I'm Chespin.
And we're here to show you the epic knockout scenes, which is gonna be awesome! Can I just say I'm a big fan of the ADX Challenge?
Frookie, judging from how many times you've appeared on the show, which was just this time in episode 20 of season 1, I think people can tell you're a fan. And I'm Chespin!
Anyway, let's get started. We have 3 awesome scenes for you.
And we handpicked them based on the before scene footage we gathered up. So without further ado, let's start. Begin!
This first scene is between Electabuzz and Nidoking. Now this was during episode 2. Electabuzz was still in the Pokemon challenge, and he was busy making sure Snorterra did exactly as he said. Unfortunately, he got his when Nidoking came around, and, let's just go. Alright, here goes nothing. Attack!
Snorlax! Nidoking!
My day's complete. Ha ha! That's what he gets.
Okay, this next scene is from episode 3, when Pardos was busy showing off to my Lodic. And of course, as usual, that gets him nowhere closer to her. Let's see how that ends up. Oh, my Lodic, can't you see how strong and buff I am? 'Cause I'm amazing.
Ha ha! You make me laugh because that's so not true. Oh my gosh!
What? Get rid of me.
My life is complete. Ha ha ha!
That's what he gets. And finally, our last scene goes to episode 4. It was right before the challenge. It was right before the Rosario Vampire Challenge. Swellow was seen getting ready to take a nap when all of a sudden he was let's just say he was being followed by a very special friend of his from last season. Take a look. Alright, time to get a nap. I'm dying for one. Hello! Ah! Beecher, what are you doing here? Oh, I just snuck onto the set. They say it's hard to get past the gates, but they lied. And look what I brought with me. Is that a... Yep, a bomb. Take this. No, no!
Oh, that was priceless. Okay, well, thanks for watching Epic Knockout Scenes. I'm Finnegan.
I'm just Finn. For crying out loud, will you let me finish? No. See you guys later.
Hi everyone, I'm Shawnee Milodic, and welcome to the very first ever Fan Talk. This is where, I'm sure you guys are familiar with this since you've seen it, since you saw it for the very first time in Pokemon Legends. But if you don't know, I'll explain it right now. Fan Talk is basically a segment where special guests from other TPIs and ex-competitors and the peanut gallery of this show come together and talk about a single topic, or various topics, based on how much time the show can last. In this case, we'll be talking about none other than Ninjask. Ninjask has made 2 moves in the last 2 episodes, and he's probably our main topic. So, without further ado, let's get our opinions on today's guest. Oh, and help me welcome today's guest. We have our peanut gallery, Electrike and Growlithe.
Hi.
Hi. Ivysaur, Beautifly, and Jerem, the eliminated contestants. Hi, guys. Hi.
Hi.
And, of course, we have none other than our special guest from Petrex Cast from 123's show. We have Aquaform, Gyro, Flareon, Lucario, Bastiodon, and Vespiquen. And, of course, from Wave Show, we have Moltres 2.0. Okay, so let's begin. Let's talk about Ninjask. So, Electrike, Growlithe, we'll start with you guys since you've been watching behind the scenes about this show. What are your thoughts on Ninjask?
Ninjask. I don't like him. He's a player, just like Electabuzz.
I agree with Electrike. Even though I've been telling him to calm himself.
I've been taking medication. This is as calm as I'll get.
Right. Anywho, I don't like Ninjask. I don't like what he's doing. Playing a girl like that is stupid. And it's wrong. And he broke up a relationship that would have lasted. Though to be honest, Beautifly and him would have never lasted, considering the relationship's based on a complete lie. And I know it's not your fault, Beautifly, but it's honestly just ended so quickly. You're telling me I'm going to have to deal with it. Ivysaur, Beautifly, Charon, your thoughts? Your thoughts on Ninjask?
Oh, I don't like him. Don't get me wrong. I like the fact that he's playing the game a certain way. I like his strategy, but I don't like him as a person. His strategy is okay, but I don't like him as a person.
Well, I don't like him at all. To be honest with you, he can just go somewhere and never come back because he just ruined a perfectly good relationship. Though I have to thank him for showing Swallow's true colors and showing me that how strong our bond between us was. So I thank him for that, but I still hate him. I hate him too. I blame most of myself on how I got eliminated, but I also blame him for egging me on. I look back on that footage and I'm so pissed at what he did. If I see him, he's gonna pay. And he's gonna pay very physically. Okay, well, too much information on that note. Bastiodon and Vespiquen, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? Genius! I think he should keep on doing what he's doing, obviously.
I wonder why I ever asked you, considering you are one of the most pathetic villains next to Drapion from Stranded.
I'll have you know I didn't do as bad as Drapion.
Not true. You did just as bad as Drapion, but you did it in an entire season known as Stranded on Poke World Tour. Okay? I watched that show. I know what you did. And season 3, you should be glad no one was targeting you day 1, because you should have been enemy number 1.
Shut up, Jerome. No one asked you.
No one had to ask me. I'm better than you. Duh. Vespiquen, your thoughts on Ninjask? Well, I'm not saying what he did was right, but you have to admit he did play a good move, and he got out one of the weaker characters on the show, so I can't say what he did was right, but what he did was a good strategy. So I have to give him props, but I also can't approve of what he did because what he did was wrong. Okay, Lucario.
I agree with Vespa. Definitely definitely really sad on how it happened between him and Silcoon. What he did was wrong.
Flareon?
I totally agree with Lucario on that note.
Okay, Giro. What about you?
Well, yeah, I do. I agree with them too. And I also think Ninja, well, he started out as this gentleman, and everyone thought he was a good person. Yeah, it's always those people who act a little too nice that end up becoming the worst people. Well, save Delcatty, because she really is just nothing but nice. But you know what I mean. It's always that person who always acts a little too nice on the show, and then poof, they turn into this badass person 3 episodes later and become the worst enemy of everyone on the show. The people he or she would have made friends with.
Yeah, very true. Oh, and sorry for not mentioning this because they're obviously in the scene. The other 2 Fan Talk guests are Hitmonchan and Rayquaza from the Pokemon Legends series. My bad. Anywho, Aquaform, your thoughts on Ninjask? I don't approve of what he does, and I know what it feels like to lose your boyfriend. Trust me on that one, Beautify. I know what it's like to lose a boyfriend, so I feel your pain on that one. And the way things happen between you two really sucked. So I feel sorry for what happened between you. Oh, well, thank you. If I feel sorry they tried to get separated from Pikachu. Oh, thank you. Moltres 2.0. All I can say about Ninjask is he's gonna dig his own grave. Whether he likes it or not, he's only begun digging the grave he's going to be sitting in at the end of the rainbow, where he's going to get eliminated immediately. Do I see him going to the merge? Perhaps. It depends on the next few moves he plays. Will he be the star villain of the season? I don't know, because there's still Electabuzz, and on the looks of it, Milotic seems to be playing moves too. So she could be boiling something up too. So you've got 3 different people who could potentially be villains, and I'm not entirely sure about Staryu, because he can be real sketch at times, but you never know. Okay, and our last 2, Hitmonchan and Rayquaza. So, what are your 2 thoughts on Ninjask?
Well, having experience being a bad guy, I think what he's doing is stupid. And if he wants to win this game, he's gonna have to start playing the game a little better. I'm not saying he shouldn't keep on doing what he's doing, but he should also not make a big deal of it. If he keeps playing more moves like this for the next couple episodes, someone's gonna catch on, and someone's gonna get kicked off, and that would be him. I agree with Hitmonchan on that one, and I also think Ninjask is, well, like Moltres 2.0 said, is digging his own grave. And he shouldn't be, and as long as he doesn't align himself with other people, or create alliances that could potentially screw him over, I think he should be fine, but he should also change his attitude towards the game.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Thank you for listening to Fan Talk. Tune in next after show for more Fan Talk, and remember, you can send in special guests for the Super Sideshow. And you may send in as many guests as you want for the Fan Talk, but I ask you, please do not overdo it. While the creator is great at putting all the characters in one scene, he also has to talk for all of them just to get their opinions. Keep that in mind. But send in a couple of your characters from your TPI, and we will gladly see them on the next after show for the Fan Talk. Alright, this is Shiny Milotic signing off from the Fan Talk. See you guys next time. Hi everybody! You know what time it is?
It's time for the first ever Super Sideshow YouTube questions.
That's right. This is the special scene where we pick 5 questions that you guys put out there and ask them to everyone else. And ask them to the people you requested.
Now, before we go on, we just want you all to know we didn't accept all the questions.
And here's why. We're only picking 5 questions per after show. Why? Because we don't want the after show going on for forever. No offense to any of your questions. All of your questions are great. We're just going to pick the 5 ones that seem relevant to the eliminated contestants or just relevant in general. So, if you send in questions and you don't see it, we sincerely apologize. But in the future, just make the questions a little more relevant. And remember, we're not being mean. We're just saying. We're just picking 5 questions.
Anyway, let's get started.
First up is Beautifly. Ooh, cool little question. You sure did, girl. And just so you know, this was asked to you when you were a Silcoon. So anyway, Silcoon, do you think there's ever a chance of you and Swallow getting back together? From Joshy TJ Ep.5. No, I don't see that right now. Right now, I just want to be single and just, be me. I haven't really been myself ever since I got with Swallow. Not that that's a bad thing, it's just... excuse me. It's just... I've been a little different. And I want to see how I am right now just by myself. And that's not a bad thing. I like being by myself. It's pretty cool. Plus, now I'm a beautiful. I finally evolved. I'm feeling good about myself. Okay, well thanks for answering the question. No problem.
Next question goes to Growlithe.
Oh, cool, I actually got a question. I guess people do love me. That's what you'd think. Anyway, Growlithe, how do you feel about the fact that Absol seems to be attracted to Drifloon? Also from Joshy TJ5. I'm glad you asked that, Joshy. To answer your question, I have no comment on that. I could care less. I'm actually happy he found someone else to love. Because honestly, those two belong together. Not to be offensive to Absol, but they're both from the ghettos, and they both belong with each other. It's so obvious. But Drifloon's making it hard to believe that she actually likes him. Which is also the most pathetic part. Okay, seriously, Growlithe? You like him. Stop denying it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't like him. Bass is the only person you bonded with on Stick Figure Island, and if not that, you also said he was your only friend on the show. What do you have to say to that? I have to say that that's true, and that we're not going to get together in a relationship. Because the only relationship I'm in with is, the great Arceus. Yeah, you told us this speech over 1,000,000 times on the show. That's why you were voted out in episode 5. Anywho, go away. Next up, we have a question for my girl Charam. Sweet. What'd I get? Okay, so Charam, your question is, do you think Roselia or myself not being with you this season had something to do with you losing? From 288KT. Yes. Because I was so pissed that you weren't here, I had to prove myself on my own, do everything on my own, just so I could win this thing. It's hard playing a game when your best friend's not by your side, and it sucks when your best friend's not by your side because you don't have that support. Oh, thank you, Chow. Anytime, girl. Okay, thanks for the question, 288KT.
Next question goes to Ivysaur, surprisingly. Wow, I got a question. Yes, you did. And your question is, Ivysaur, who would you most like to be friends with out of everyone? From 288KT. Well, I've always thought I'd be friends with Totodile, even though she's completely insane.
Yeah, so I really don't understand how you were going to end up being friends with her in the first place.
I'd also like to be friends with Charon, despite the fact that she said no to me.
Ah. I can see that's really weird. Anyway, me. Anyway, alright, well, thanks for answering the question.
Yeah, you're welcome. And our last question of the night goes to both Cherub and Beautifly.
Ah, seriously? Oh, we got a combo question.
Yes, you did. And this question is, Cherub and Silken or Beautifly, what are you gonna do to Ninjas when you get to the after show? Also from Joshy TJE5.
Well, to answer your question, Joshy, I'm going to rip his neck off. Oh, Sean, he doesn't have a neck. Okay, I'm going to rip his head off. And then I'm going to rip his wings. And then I'm going to send it back to that cicada cocoon that he once hatched out of. You mean Shedinja? Seriously, Beautifly, you're correcting me every step of the way. I know that he's a cicada and that Shedinja is pretty much his skin. And even that is a Pokemon, which is also completely awkward. If I see his Shedinja skin come onto the reality show, I'm going to rip his wings off and he'll immediately lose. He only gets hit. He's only affected by his weaknesses. You do know that, right? Seriously, why are you correcting me? You're getting your facts wrong. You say you're gonna hurt him, but the fact is Shedinja is only affected by his weaknesses. You have to remember that. Otherwise, you're pretty much up against a really strong Pokemon, even though it shouldn't really be that strong. Whatever. I'm gonna get him and his stupid Shedinja skin, and I'm gonna send him back to being an Enkeda. Okay. And to answer your question, Joshi, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna ask him why he did it. And I might smack him. Well, just stay tuned. Alright, thank you for answering the questions. No problem. Yeah, totally.
Well, guys, that's all we have for you today.
Yep. Thank you for watching our awesome after show.
Join us next time in episode 10 when we will interview 3 more people who will be joining us for the awesome after show. Alright, for another awesome after show.
Yeah, they will be interviewed, given their voting results, and they will be given their moments on where they went wrong, plus tons more. Plus we'll have special guests, more cameo appearances, and fan talk.
Now before we go, we just want to remind you, from here on out, we want you to send in your requests for fan talk guests, cameo appearances,
and questions through personal message on the NDX Challenges YouTube channel.
Yeah. So in other words, send it to his inbox so we can easily write it down. That way he'll have a better chance of getting it. So, just keep that in mind.
Other than that, we just want to thank you guys for watching, and until then, I'm Mosea.
And I'm Scrafty.
And thank you for watching the awesome Anime Insanity Super Sideshow.
See you guys next time.
Bye!
See ya.